Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. It's me and Benji today talking about the WPL and India versus Australia. Bit awkward, but we'll talk about it anyway because we haven't talked about the last two ODIs that happened, both of which India lost quite miserably. A pretty impressive display from Australia, it has to be said. Bench. So obviously, the second ODI was an absolute drubbing. This one was slightly closer, but still fundamentally embarrassing for India.
It was a good game, though. All being said, I think that Australia managed to sort their mix out finally in this game. Ashton Agar's come back in with Adam Zampa. They've got Sean Abbott in there with Marcus Stoinis. So I think that the team that they put out looked good. And India was set a total of 269 to chase down, which at first I thought that would be a walk in the park. 269 from the 50 overs, considering that Australia got bowled out within 49. But with Australia, everybody sort of chipped in. There was handy. Pretty much everyone came away with the 30. David Warner batted at number 4, got 20 yards. Steve Smith did get 0, which was, not great for good old Captain Smudge. But then there was a bit of lower order hitting from Sean Abbott, from Ashton Agar, and it sort of got them up to that maybe par score. Kuldeep Yadav bowled like an absolute machine, as so did Hardik Pandya. I thought that the two of them really stood out. Hardik managed to knock over the top 3, which when you do that as a bowler, there's no better feeling. And then Kuldeep Yadav bowled an absolute seed to get rid of Alex Carey.
It was unbelievable. Sorry, if you can see me just like jolting every now and then, I've got the hiccups.
We should rename to the Village Nerd Podcast.
Honestly,
what we're doing right now.
It's absolute amateur hour over here. I've just got out the shower. I'm soaking wet, and I've got hiccups. So it's a bit embarrassing from my end. But that being said, yeah, I thought. Alex Carey looked absolutely bewildered by it.
Yeah,
and it was amazing. Like pitched on sort of middle and leg and hit top of off. The perfect left arm wrist spinner's delivery.
Yeah, entirely. I think in terms of the India bowling, for me, the unsung hero was Jadeja, who was hit for 1 boundary in his 10 overs. So I think that just is really, he kept it so tight, only went for 3.4 and over, and was able to contain and allow the other bowlers to get a bit more aggressive. And yeah, I think he is the unsung hero today. But with India being set 270, they looked okay, and then what went wrong?
Regular wickets. It's always the key in a chase. Doesn't matter how low the total is. If you can take regular wickets, you're going to make it very difficult. Sorry, these hiccups are killing me. You're going to make it really difficult. Something is really interesting with Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yes.
Do India not trust him? Is that why Axar Patel's batting ahead of him? But
he got demoted. He got demoted today to number 7, and he was sitting padded up from when Virat Kohli went in the 10th over. I think it was at 65 for 1 when Kohli went in. Sky was padded up until he finally came out in the 36th over to face 1 ball and complete his trio of ducks.
Yeah, what was obviously a king pair is a test match thing, but this feels like it needs to be like. Let us know in the comments, what is it called? Is it an uncle pair? Is it a daddy triple? I don't know what we're calling this, but either way, it's embarrassing, and Sky is really not making a good impression.
The thing
is, a good case for himself to be picked in this ODI squad.
He's not been terrible in ODI in his entire career. No. It's just at the minute he's got so much expectation on him because of how well he's been doing. But I just think, yeah, his last ODIs that he's been doing haven't been his best. I mean, yeah, he's faced three balls in this series, and that's got 3 golden ducks. So it's not what we expect from him, is it?
No, it's pretty shock. Oh, it's pretty shocking, especially when you've got like some decent players waiting in the wings. Think about Ishan Kishan, also the likes of Sanju Samson. Sanju Samson. This is shocking. I'm so sorry to the viewers. Yeah, Sanju Samson as well. He's somebody that's really good and yet isn't getting a look in because Sky has got this. He's obviously got a really high ceiling, but can it translate to ODIs? And at the moment, it's not looking like the answer's yes. He started off his career well, hasn't continued that way.
Indeed. Yeah, so I am not sure what's gone on with Sky. I mean, he's not got 100 yet in ODI. He's just, one of those players who seems to be amazing in T20, but yeah, maybe he's just trying to, get back and get ready for the upcoming IPL season. Speaking of Premier League seasons, the WPL is coming to an end, and we have the Eliminator on Friday, and we know who's qualified: Delhi, Mumbai, and UP. And there was a game yesterday which sealed Delhi to take the top spot.
Yeah, like no one would have thought it that Mumbai wouldn't be dead cert for the final. However, that complacency towards the end of the season or the end of the group stages has really cost them. And Delhi have definitely been like the second place the whole way until they kind of just ramped it up. And they've got the momentum going in now, which I think could serve them really well. The only disadvantage is sometimes playing more cricket is better, especially going into a final. Like you're still feeling fresh because the gap between, was it Friday and Sunday? Is that
yeah? I think so.
You've still got a solid day's rest, and you're obviously going to get some momentum. But yeah, Mumbai really need to fight for this. They're still my favourites to win the overall tournament, but UP are looking strong. They've absolutely battled, tooth and nail to get to where they are, and hats off to them.
Yeah,
it could be any of them, couldn't it?
Exactly. I think for me, it was the UP Mumbai game a couple of days ago. You're struggling. You need to get some water off of this podcast, mate. But it was the UP Mumbai game that really set up the qualification. RCB were trying to come back in there, and I can't remember Zach's convoluted way of getting RCB to the final, but it didn't happen when Mumbai beat them. But yeah, it should be a good eliminator. We love the playoffs. Are we still backing Mumbai to win? Probably, hey?
I think so. And we've got one Cricket Nerds question that's on the WPL, so we'll answer it now. I'll try and read it, but we all know this could go only wrong. Right. It's from Amar Reddy, long-time subscriber, great person. He has said, WPL question, the strike rotation from the Indian batters, except Jemima Rodriguez and Harman, has been horrendous. And my question is, how does the Indian contingent improve their strike rotation? By rotating the strike more.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, at the start of the season, it didn't matter because people were scoring 200s with ease, picking the gaps. I think in these lower scoring ones, you definitely do need to rotate the strike a bit better. Yeah. And that's definitely an area to work on.
I think in terms of rotating strike in the women's game, because after the power play, it's only 4 out the ring fielders. It means that there's just that extra player in the ring on the one. And I think that's why you can, see the strike not being rotated as much as you would in the men's game. Like today, you could see Virat Kohli just slam his bat down. I mean, I think in ODI they only had the same amount out of the ring. But if you think of a men's T20, a lot of the time they'll jam the bat down, it'll trundle out towards cover point. But because there's a sweeper bat there, there's no one to come in because they've got those 5 out the ring. So yeah, I think it's just the nature of the game. But yeah, I agree. Like, strike rotation is super important, especially in the middle overs when you're being tied up by spin. Just to keep that scoreboard ticking is so important. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed this quick podcast on the WPL and India Australia. Loads of IPL content coming your way. We're going to be talking about the IPL non-stop until you're bored of the IPL, because that's where we're at now. It's IPL season, so I hope you're geared up. We'll of course be covering the closing stages of the WPL, and you'll hear all the news from us and you'll hear all our reactions. But thanks again for your support. Sorry about my sniff just then. It really wasn't necessary. Follow us on social media. All the links are in the link tree. This has been the Village Nerds podcast, and we'll see you next time.